Yeah, if you think you're going to do it in your own strength, then you know what? Yeah, you can do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with wendyybailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, wendyybailey.
Hi, everyone, and welcome again to the Profitable Coaching Conversations show. I'm so excited today to share this next guest with you. Her name is Carnellia Ajasin, and she's a creative technologist. We're going to dig into what that means in just a minute. She does all things technology, design, creativity, innovation, and social impact. I love talking with Carnellia because she is such a delight in depth of information and intelligence related to technology. Welcome, Carnellia.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just kind of jump in, shall we?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, tell us more about what you do.
Well, I am the CEO and founder of a company called Mindkatalyst, and what we do is we develop software, hardware, and mobile applications for ambitious entrepreneurs as well as Fortune 500 companies that are looking to develop products that are purposeful and meaning, and that we're solving real problems with their technology solutions.
Okay, so you're a technologist, true and pure. When you say I'm a technologist, you really mean that. Like you're the putting the bare bones of whatever the applications are together for the companies you serve.
Yes, that's right. So it could be application, it can be hardware, because we do them both. And in this world today with the Internet of Things, you have your app, you also have your devices. We create those as well.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So how have things been for you since the COVID-19 shutdown in the country in terms of technology? Because I can imagine that there are a lot of companies now and small businesses and entrepreneurs who are running toward technology in a bigger way than they were before.
Yeah, that's definitely true. COVID-19 has affected or impacted many companies, and of course, the work that we do is really helping companies to be more digital in this space, right? And so that means you may want to create or explore opportunities around creating, applications, or creating a device, or creating some sort of medium where you utilize the technology to offer your services. And so that means that some people may have to, develop an app, or they may have to digitize their entire practice, because maybe their practice were more brick and mortar, traditional. And so we do help them with, strategizing around, what's the best medium to use in terms of, altering or pivoting how they're actually delivering their services or products currently, and then help them to pivot into more the digital space.
Gotcha. And what do you say to the entrepreneur out there who is has been accustomed to being front and center, right in a corporation, doing their work from live stages in front of lots of people? What do you say to them in terms of moving from that offline space to an online space to digitize their products?
Well, I would say products and services, because it's a wonderful time. And what I would say to them is this is a perfect opportunity and time to be pivoting your services and products offline to online. It garners you the opportunity to expand your product base and your in terms of your viewership, in terms of your customer base. You have access to people now around the globe, truly, and because people have nothing but time to be online and kind of look and see and have more eyeballs and more interactivity. So this is a perfect time to expand your business globally in the true nature.
Nice, very, very nice. So how do you actually begin as an entrepreneur to conceptualize making that kind of shift?
Well, to do that, you would have to, of course, think through, who's going to be your target market audience. I mean, that's still going to be the basic of all business is figuring out who's going to be those people in terms of, who's going to resonate more with the services and products that you're actually creating. And then I wouldn't necessarily look at the demographic. I mean, in terms of geographic, but definitely the demographic. And then think in terms of, are you looking at developing an app? Or are you looking at just being more interactive online? Are you looking to have an online school or online classes, workshop, mastermind, those types of activities? Like, how are you going to garner more activity towards your business that is more digital? And I really would start with education. I think educating people on your services or educating people in your space is a really good call to action. It's a good way to get people acclimated and familiar with your brand. Even if you're not teaching necessarily something in particular in terms of your product, but if you're teaching something that's related to the work that you do in a way that's educating people, empowering people, is a wonderful opportunity for you to then attract more people to your business.
Awesome. So let's use me as an example.
Mm-hmm.
I have a digital academy. It's a More Coaching Client Sales and Marketing Academy. Mm-hmm. And I have it housed on a membership platform currently. Mm-hmm. There are tons of videos and audios and downloadable PDFs in the community on the campus. What's an application, or how would you recommend that I go forward if I want to do more digital delivery of my program at the academy?
Yeah. So from my experience in terms of the company and the clients I work with, people are really getting out of more stagnant or DIY, where it's pre-recorded content, pre-recorded types of platforms. People are more prone to engagement, right? So they want to be more engaged. They want to see you. They want to interact with you or people from your team. For me, my advice in terms of what you're doing is I would have it such that there's some time where there is some activity with a live person, right? Because people want to engage. And it's really difficult to engage if there's lots of pre-recorded content as opposed to somebody who's live, who's actually, they can see and touch, and not necessarily touch and feel, but they can see your voice inflections, they can see your eye contacts, they can see the energy that you're exuding through the video, as opposed to something that's already pre-recorded. So people like more of the interactivity. And then also, I would have engaging activities where people can actually collaborate as a team, collaborate in groups, as opposed to people kind of consuming your content and they're in their little silos, creating their sales and marketing on their own. You're having more of a collaborative activities where people can actually work together, meet each other, forge relationships, bonding, that type of thing, and then also then interacting with you, the expert, the facilitator, in doing so as well.
Awesome. And what's the best course to actually bring all of that to life technologically?
Technologically, it's really how it's designed, like how you're actually designing your consumables, how you're designing your course, how you're designing your app.
What's a consumable for me based on the example that I shared?
Yeah, well, the example that you shared is, I would say that the content itself, in terms of the style of delivery, instead of being a pre-recorded, would be something that would be a mixture of pre-recorded and also live.
Okay, and what kind of platform would you suggest in that case?
So many platforms. You can use almost any of them. Teachable and LinkedIn and Thinkific and such. However, in terms of the interactivity, I would still use Zoom and things like that, because you really do need like a whiteboard or something like that where you're actually engaging people live while they're interacting with you. So,
with all of those different platforms out there, why would I come to you?
Oh, you would come to me because we need to strategize about that. Like, how do you actually do that? I mean, that's what we discussed just a few minutes ago, right? Because most people have kind of stagnated just pre-recorded videos, and that doesn't really bring you a lot of engagement. It's just, hey, click here, and it's always automated. It's just, just a video of you from who knows when. And so people don't really get to really know you. And so from a sales perspective, it's just kind of a full pop. People want to see and like, people spend money, people that they know, like, and trust. So if they're all they're seeing is a virtual aspect of yourself, then it's kind of difficult to actually develop that rapport with you.
Sure.
And so with me, it would be a matter of not just for content rather, but more in the technological space, what's the strategy that I need for my intended audience? So, and also here's some activities and ideas around activities. We can also help you in terms of figuring out what might be the best platform for that. It may be a gamification application that you can interject in what you're doing. It may be something where you're, like you said about, putting people together in groups where people can learn from one another. That may be a gamification aspect or delivery, as opposed to just an exercise that someone kind of put together.
Gotcha.
So just kind of strategizing around that.
Okay. Well, one of the things that, just for the record, I do 2 live training sessions a month with my Academy members.
Yeah.
So it's not just that static content, that DIY content. And I do coaching hours, monthly coaching hours. I do group lives. And so there's a lot of engagement and interaction. The thing that I was really asking you was, and I think you eventually answered it. You said there may be a gaming application. There may be something else that's added to it. I kind of want to hear about some of the products that you've created for folks who look like me.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So we've developed a number of software applications, mobile applications, and also Internet of Things. So, of course, given the NDAs and non-disclosure agreements, I'm not able to share the details,
right?
But things around being purposeful. So we've created products that are where people are utilizing used vehicles for other clients, and so where college students can actually use those vehicles to bring in more income for themselves, and also the baby boomers can then also earn more income for themselves. So we've also created products for clients that have kind of moving them into e-commerce, bringing their stores online, and then having them have a more prevalent online platform.
Okay.
We've also created applications for people who have right now anyway, who's actually looking at a wearable device like a bra that actually helps you to have your monthly mammograms. So we're in the process of doing something like that now with one of our clients, because we also do physical wearable hardware as well.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So we've also actually developed a product for a client as well, who was looking at, how do you get students of color to be more engaging in the computer science arena? And so we know definitely through her research that students love to play video games that look like us, but they're not necessarily interested in learning computer science. And so what we did with her, and she got a grant through the National Science Foundation to fund the entire project, is that we looked at and did a lot of research around, how do you get kids to develop a video game, but in the background of the video game, they're actually learning how to code. Right. So it's kind of tricking them into learning, computer science.
Yeah.
But another thing about that, just to mention this, many times people don't really see or know how they're going to fund their projects. Right. And so there is a ton of opportunities through the National Science Foundation to do such. There's also opportunities with the Department of Education, as well as NIH. So that's National Institute of Health.
Sure.
So sometimes you can have a great opportunity to fund your projects through research through those mediums as well.
Yeah, awesome. It sounds like you guys are doing some amazing work. I know that when we talked before we started the recording, the phrase purposeful innovation was what you really seem passionate about.
Yes.
And that really being a part of your whole branding and concept of what you do in the marketplace. Explain that just a little bit for us.
Sure. So purposeful for me is it's a personal journey. So I was at the time in my career, if you can picture it, it was around the time that Philip Morris was heavily in the news. They had a lot of hearings on CNN and C-SPAN, really globally, and they were talking about how they had been allegedly accused and also, I guess, found guilty of lacing their cigarettes with,
Carcinogens.
yes, exactly. And then also where people become addicted pretty hard to the cigarettes. And at the time, my aunt was also going through chemotherapy as a result of being a lifelong smoker. And I was, interestingly enough, assigned to work as a strategist, a technology strategist at Philip Morris. So I, in the second day and being in the office at Philip Morris, I sat in my hotel room thinking like, I don't want to do this. It just did not feel right to me to help them strategize around how to make money for their company from a technological perspective when the practices of how they were, in terms of their product base, in terms of how they were treating their customers and the adverse effect of that, where people were, diagnosed and dying of cancer or having to go to chemotherapy, was the outcome. And so for me, it was really about, okay, do I want to do something that is, in the line of where I'm going? Or do I want to do something that's a little bit more that's more purposeful in terms of, that has more positive outputs? So using my skills, my talent, using my intellect to create opportunities, create products that are going to be more purposeful for the user who are intended to use them, and the ideas that we're actually coming up with. So I started developing my framework, in terms of how to actually do that. That day, and I was actually I made a request to actually be moved away from that project because I just morally, ethically, it just didn't feel like something I would want to do going forward. So that's what I did. So that's what kind of led me into this work of, purposeful innovation, like, innovating around real problems that, innovating around solutions, technological solutions for real problems in the ways that we work, the way that we learn, our healthcare, and just business in general. So for me, that's more in alignment with my personal ethics, morals, and values.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, it will be time for the Profitable Wisdom segment. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Are you ready to elevate your sales game so you can add some zeros to your bottom line? Backed by popular demand is Supersize Your Selling, the 7-day sales challenge for coaches, speakers, industry experts, and marketplace influencers. Get ready to grow confident in your selling. Practice selling with grace and ease. Discover how to convert more ideal clients. Shatter your sales fears. Overcome objections effortlessly. Activate income acceleration in your business. This activation challenge features daily bursts of content, easy to complete assignments, sales coaching with none other than yours truly, Wendy Y, downloadable sales script, ongoing accountability and support. It's because it is designed to help you win. Sign up now at www.supersizeyourselling.com. That's www.supersizeyourselling.com, and we'll see you there. How do you create sustainable success in your business? It means that you're focused on creating a message for your most ideal client that magnetizes them to you. They're clamoring to work with you because of the messaging you have that shares with them your ability to solve their problem. It also means that you're working daily, weekly, and monthly on the right actions to impact your bottom line profits. Yeah, you want to increase them, but you've got to focus on moving away from the energy drainers and the time wasters to work with people that you are clearly designed to support in your business. It also means elevating your sales game. You've got to be really good at selling if you're in business, and you've got to know the right way to step into your sales game and elevate it so that you're authentic and true to who you are, and you're able to really and truly solve the problem your client presents when he or she comes to you. I'm Wendy Y. Bailey, known as your Income Acceleration Mentor, and I'm so excited that I'm going to be delivering another Income Acceleration Day, and you're invited. It's a virtual group coaching intensive designed specifically for people in the transformation space, like coaches and speakers and industry experts and marketplace influencers and CEOs and entrepreneurial leaders and consultants, all working on making a difference in the lives of people. Maybe it's in their business, maybe it's in their personal lives. It's all about transforming the people you serve. It's virtual, no traffic, no travel, And when we get together, we roll up our sleeves and we create that messaging that you're really looking for. We also look at what your income producing activities are. We get rid of the energy drainers and time wasters in your business. It's also about understanding and identifying multiple streams of active and passive income so that when you focus on the right things, you know exactly what your bottom line is going to look like. And then finally, we're going to do what we need to do to elevate your sales game. It's a must. It's easy. I promise you're going to love wearing the new sales game that you have going forward. Income Acceleration Day is happening soon, and I'd love for you to join me. Go to www.incomeaccelerationday.com and get ready because it's all about accelerating your income quickly, growing your bottom line profits so that you can create the sustainable success you desire in your business too. See you there.
Hi, I'm Michelle PW, and you've tuned into Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, and review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode is live.
Hi, I'm Beverly Walthour, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I'm Lisa Crisali, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Go ahead and like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Okay, so welcome back. It's time for the Profitable Wisdom segment. And I'm here talking with Carnellia Ajasin. And we ask these questions of every single guest because they're so important and so powerful for our audience. So let's start. Who has been your greatest influence on you and your life?
Oh, wow. The greatest influence for me has been my grandfather, John Henry Blunt. He had a 8th grade education, and he was a janitor for many years and a cook. And yet, I just the kindest person, most intellectually astute person that I've ever met. High IQ, high EQ, and I always wanted to go beyond, where he went, and so it was very important to me that I added to our legacy as a family. So, when he talked about, education, we talked about where he could not have education, and he could not, reach certain areas in life that I've reached. It just made me, move forward in my life and make those achievements realized.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And what's the best business advice you've ever received?
Wow. The best business advice I've received is probably more so in alignment with also just a personal advice. And that is really staying true to myself, making sure that I'm doing something that's really coming from within, the inside out. The inside out as opposed to the opposite direction.
Sure.
And so when you're doing that, it's ensuring that I'm staying grounded, I'm staying true to myself and being authentic. So that's always been, that was good business advice. And for me, it's also good personal advice.
Awesome. I love that. I really do. And then what's the largest single sale that you've ever made in your business? And what did you do to celebrate?
Well, the largest sale...
By the way, I had to answer these questions myself. And after I answered them myself, I got a whole different impression of what these questions are doing for people.
Okay.
So I get it. These aren't things you think about every day. So.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Very, very good questions, indeed. Well, I would say that the largest sum that I've actually made in a contract was about $150,000. And that was just one contract. It was about maybe a 6-week contract. So it was pretty, I just thought that was incredible. And what did I do to celebrate? Wow. What's interesting? I didn't do anything to celebrate. I just kept
never
going.
Too late to celebrate. You can always celebrate. And that means you got to go find something cool to do now that you've been reminded of it to celebrate.
Yeah, I didn't do anything in particular. I just know that I went out, maybe I did a dinner and I put myself some perfume I wanted, but it wasn't anything like, wow,
Major.
yeah, it wasn't anything
Yeah.
major at all.
The
So, yeah.
responses have been kind of cool. I've heard anything from dinner to went on vacation, some really great vacation, to my answer was I went out and bought a new outfit. So 'cause I like clothes, so I
Yeah.
went out and bought a new outfit. That's what I
Yeah,
did with mine.
that's awesome.
So yeah, these are really cool answers.
They are.
As an entrepreneur, we all think of giving up. We wonder when we wake up some days and it's like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
When you've had those thoughts of giving up, what did you do, or what was your strategy for moving through it to stay the course?
You know, again, I think about my grandfather and, you know, the things that he had to go through just to put food on the table, and where I am and what it takes for me to do the same thing for my children. For me, legacy is extremely important, right? In terms of, you know, what I can leave behind, not just for my children, you know, who, you know, I'm alive and living and willing now that I can show them by example, but, you know, how do I become and be an example to my children? How do I be an example to other young people who are out here in the same space, or even aspiring to be in the same space? You know, I have a lot of people, you know, that I know and people that I don't even know, that I'm inspiring, unbeknownst to me, and those that I'm very cognizant of that I am inspiring every day. And so, you know, when I feel like, you know, giving up or just, you know, quitting, I think about that. I think about, you know, the influence that I am to so many people, and that I need to keep going in order to do that. So that's what yeah.
So you remember that there are people watching you and counting on you.
Absolutely. And I just say,
set the example.
Yeah. And I may take a vacation or take a long, you know, break and rejuvenate myself. You know, I make sure that I stay focused on self-care, and then I jump back into it. Yeah.
Good. And then finally, what is your greatest personal accomplishment outside of your business?
You know, I would say my greatest personal accomplishment is, again, focusing my life around my children. There was a time in my career that I left the workspace, and I left a very high-paying job that, you know, I had global accounts globally. I was living on 4 continents. So I did very, very well in this space. But I gave that up for several years, and I focused on my children. I focused on homeschooling my children, rearing my children, really getting to know who they were, and having them.
How old are they now?
My daughter now is 18, and she's a freshman computer science major at Georgia Tech. And
congratulations! That's a big deal. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Got them out of college, out of high school. They're in college. Yes.
Yeah. And my son is 15, and yeah, he's a high school student. And so, and it's funny because my daughter credits a lot of her success to the fact that she was homeschooled for the foundational years, and that made me feel really good, because I thought,
yeah,
especially parents nowadays having to homeschool not by choice. Like, I homeschooled for choice. That was my choice. That was something that I really wanted to do, and so when I'm seeing parents in the COVID-19 era having to do this, kind of like basically being thrown into it, I find it to be, you know, just very challenging for sure. But, you know, at that time, it was something that I chose to do on my own. And I felt like it was something I really needed to do at that time in my life, because I was an older mother, and I wanted to make sure that my children, and I needed to make sure that I slowed down with my life, make sure that I was focused on my kids as opposed to, you know, jet flying around the globe.
Yeah. It sounds to me like, you're kind of like me. My greatest accomplishment is my son. He's an only child. For me, he's an only child.
Yes.
And I love the fact that you had the foresight and the vision to actually dedicate yourself to homeschooling them. Because I got to tell you, Carnellia, I could not have done it.
Yeah, it's
like
hard.
If I lived in a time of COVID and my son was of school age, we would have struggled.
Yeah.
we would have struggled. So
Yeah.
I applaud you for doing that, not in the time of COVID.
Right, not the time of COVID.
but still there's a lot that it requires as a
Yes.
parent to be able to do that, because they learn differently and the things they're teaching are even different.
Yeah, my son and my daughter are completely different learners.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know anything about people being different in terms of how they learn until I started homeschooling. And then I had to I got really involved in it, where I got certain curriculum from my daughter and the way that she learned. And then I got different curriculum from my son, the way he learned. And then I was teaching them both. And, but again, I would never trade that for the world, because I really connected with them in a way that I would not have been able to do had I had a 9-to-5, or certainly the type of 9-to-5 I had, where I had to travel globally. I mean, every 2 weeks I was coming back to the United States. And so, or if I could, and other times it would be once a month. And so I knew that wasn't going to be conducive, being a new mom. And then I chose not to work and just really focus on them and just enjoy them. And because they only, you only have that adolescent and the baby years and the elementary years. It goes away so fast, right? I had heard that from so many other moms before I had children, and so I knew that I really wanted to have that and really be fully present in their lives during those years.
Yeah, I think that's definitely worthy of like acknowledgement for you. I'm glad your daughter also recognizes the benefit that she gained as a result. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, when she told me that, it really touched me very deeply.
Yeah, I bet.
Because it was tough. It was a really tough decision to do. It wasn't very favorable, in the household with my soon-to-be ex-spouse, but it's something that I can always hold my hat on to say that regardless of what happened with the marriage, I feel that I made the right decision.
Yeah. And I'm glad you did, and I'm glad she's come back to acknowledge you for it.
Yes, absolutely.
I think in his 20s, my son came back and said that he was glad that he had experienced some things I did. Yeah. And so I know firsthand, when you hear that from them, or even if you see their behavior as a result of your impact on them, it just melts you. I don't know if you feel like that, but it's
I do. I do, and I know that the influence, like you said, was because they were homeschooled. I mean, I used to go to different events, and my children, because of course you put yourself in your children. My children were, a lot of the children, a lot of the wholesome movies and such that we grew up with. My children were very aware of, and the type of music and things like that, and so. They were very selective about the pop culture things that they engaged in, because they just didn't have access to it all the time. So they got a chance to kind of see what the old stuff was and what the new stuff is, and kind of be more discerning, and very, very highly critical thinking skills is very big in our house. So when they're seeing the news today, they're like, that makes no sense, so that we can have those kind of conversations now. And I'm really proud of that. Yeah.
Awesome. So how many countries have you lived in? Not visited, but lived in?
Yeah. So I've lived in, Montreal. I've lived in Toronto, South Africa, and I've also lived in parts of Europe as well.
Awesome. What a great experience for them as well to have been those places with you, I'm assuming.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very grateful for that opportunity to afford them, that opportunity, that chance to actually have those experiences. So I'm really proud of that.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to take another break, and when we come back, I want to hear your parting thoughts, your final thoughts for everyone, and we will close out.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome.
Hi, I'm Simon T. Bailey, and you are tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversations with Wendy Y. Bailey. Listen, it's an amazing show. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel so you know when the next episode is coming your way.
Hi, I'm Sherry Burke, and you're tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversations show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Yo, people, what is up? This your boy, John Lawson, johnlawson.com, and you're tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Go ahead right now, subscribe so that you're notified every time an episode goes live. I'm out of here for now, guys. Peace.
Okay, so we're back, and we've been having just the yummiest conversation with Carnellia Ajasin, and she's been talking about purposeful innovation, and she's been sharing sort of how you can connect technology to your solutions, to what you offer in the way of services or products. And so, Carnellia, if there's one thought that you really like for audiences and listeners and viewers to really get from our dialogue, what's that one thought that you would like to share?
I would say if you have an idea for a product, to go for it. I mean, many times, particularly women, and I don't want to just isolate this answer to just women.
It's okay because we do things differently than men do.
Yeah. So a lot of my male clients, even if they don't have an idea or experience, not even experience, they're just, hey, I'm going to go for it. They have no apprehension at all whatsoever, right? Yeah. Many of my female clients, on the other hand, are like, okay, I have to go back and get a degree, I have to get a PhD, I got to get a master's. It's
no,
like,
you don't.
I have to go get experience.
No,
none of this is on my resume.
No, you don't.
It's like, okay, so, So my experience is always, just go for whatever you know, when you have an idea about something you want to do. Mm-hmm. And I would say just to add to that, I would also say that many people feel like, oh, well, somebody else already has an idea, or this idea is already out in the market space. And it's like, yeah, but they haven't done it the way you're going to do it, right? It's not done in your flavor, is what I always tell people. It's like, your flavor is not on top of that. So, that doesn't, so for me, that gives you permission to go out and go ahead and do this. So don't let any of those types of things be barriers for you to enter the space of tech innovation.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Jump out there. I love it. So thanks so much for being with us, Carnellia. I know you have a special gift. We're going to put the link in the show notes. Mm-hmm. But what's the gift that you have for our audience? We offer my blog that's posted every week. And you can access that through our website. Well, I can also talk about the fact that I offer a webinar every Saturday for those people who are interested in product development, or in terms of how do you go from an idea to market fit? How do you do that? So I actually talk through that with clients every single Saturday. At 11 Eastern Standard Time. And I've been on it, and it's a good webinar. Like if you're thinking about a product and you're thinking about a product that's tied to technology, you might just have an idea but don't know how to do it. You've done a great job, Carnellia, of actually walking people through from inception, from conception to ideation, through all of that. So it's great. It's great. Yeah. Awesome. So we'll put the link in the show notes. And thanks so much for being here, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much for tuning into Profitable Coaching Conversations with Wendy Y. Bailey. Be sure to join us at the after party at www.profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time for more sales and marketing wisdom and insight from Wendy Y. and her amazing guests. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes are posted.